You don't just have a porn problem, you have a pain problem. And until you invite Jesus into those deeper places, the cycle will keep repeating. This is part 3 of a 4-part series for Christian men who don't want just clean streaks from pornography, they want real healing. I'm walking you through the framework from my book, The Last Relapse. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how to heal from your past and how to renew your mind so that you can walk in lasting freedom. If you've ever felt stuck, ashamed, or broken, this one's for you. Let's dive in. Now, in case you don't know me, my name's Sathiya Sam. I'm an addiction recovery expert, men's transformation coach, and an international speaker. And I've dedicated the last 6 years of my life helping men heal from pornography addiction. So I want to start this teaching with a big idea. And it's this: a man is only as big as his ability to confront pain. Here's the deal. As believers, the example we have to follow again and again and again is Jesus. Now, Jesus dealt with heartache, extreme hunger, grief, betrayal, and the most painful death that a human could suffer. Yet, Jesus never complained, he never backed down, and he never gave in to the temptations that came his way. Here's what I can tell you after working with over 1,000 guys and helping them quit pornography. When you're dealing with these sexual behavioral issues, we're not just talking about a behavioral problem. Often we're talking about pain. And more specifically, we're talking about unaddressed pain. Now, I also know this because this was my story. I was the guy who had good parents and I had a good upbringing. I had a good life. I mean, anything I could really complain about out of childhood was a first world problem. But the truth is, when this is how we frame our narrative, we end up burying our pain, little or big. See, we could have started this video with all of the tactics and all of the practical tools that you need to renew your mind and heal your heart. But the reality is, if you and I don't confront the pain first, those tools are more or less useless. They're going to be completely ineffective. You have to be willing to confront the pain in your life. Now, if you're anything like me, you're going to hear that and you're going to say, well, I do want to confront my pain. I just don't know what that is. And if that's the case for you, don't worry. I'm going to help you out and we'll make sure you get clarity on that too. Okay, so if we go back to our roots picture drawing here, pain kind of operates just underneath the surface. It's usually there. At least it's there at first. But what happens is, if this was your life, right? And this is like the fully grown tree is adulthood. When you're a less developed tree, and maybe we can even draw this. You're a less developed tree, you're in adolescence or your childhood. What happens is your root system is still being developed, right? It's still very malleable. So you have a smaller tree and it's got branches and it's still growing, right? But it's still kind of developing into a proper tree. So the thing is, you have a moment that causes you pain. I'll give you a personal example. Okay, this came up when I was a little bit deeper in recovery. My dad, my brother, and I were driving in a van. I still remember it was a red Dodge Caravan. We're driving, and my dad says, "Let's pull over and get ice cream." It was a hot summer day. We lived on very little. We never ate out. Ice cream from like even dollar cones from McDonald's was like, oh my goodness, we are getting spoiled like crazy. So dad pulls in, he says, "Hey, just stay in the car. I'll go grab the cones." So we wait a couple minutes, I'm just looking at the door. Like, I just can't wait until my dad comes with the ice cream cones. So there he comes, he's got the tray and he's got the 3 cones, one for each of us. And in my excitement, I'm just trying to, love my dad and show him how grateful I am. I decide I'm going to go open the door for him and I time it really poorly and I just swing the door open and I knock the cones out of his hand. And my dad gets all mad. He's like, what are you doing? Why did you do that? And, he's like, that's it. You and your brother need to share. He managed to kind of say one of the cones, like, you guys have to share this cone and I'll go get myself another one. So it's just an innocent moment, right? Like my dad was upset. He had a right to be upset, but he could have responded differently. And because of the way he responded, I decided, man, even when my intentions are good, that's not good enough, right? Because I made a poor decision. And that little moment of pain, that little, oh, ouch, that hurts. Well, it starts to stunt our roots and our development. And so instead of getting a healthy root system here, the pain actually stifles your growth. It stifles your maturity. It stifles your development. So this is why with Deep Clean, the system that we use to help over 1,000 guys quit pornography, we're a big fan of this concept called inner child work. Because when you, as a little boy, when you experience these moments of pain, these moments have a way of kind of stunting your growth. And so in theory, as time goes on, you grow up and you become this very healthy man. Physically, for sure, your body just matures. That's just DNA and that's code. But psychologically, that little boy might be trapped inside still because he's got pain. And that pain kind of envelops him and stifles him from developing emotionally. And this is why you get, grown men physically, but emotionally, they're a fraction of the person they could be. It's because they have pain and that root system didn't develop properly and they just didn't mature and they didn't grow. Sick of endless relapse cycles? There's a better way. On August 28th at 8 p.m. EST, I'm hosting a free masterclass live to help you quit porn forever. Without filters, willpower tricks, or shame. You'll discover why traditional solutions have failed, how to get to your root issues, and the 3 biblical skills that give real freedom. This workshop won't be recorded, and you don't need to turn on your camera. It's private, powerful, and free. Reserve your spot now and start walking in freedom with brothers who get it. I'll see you on the 28th. But there's one thing I want to go through very quickly with you, which is that when we're identifying points of pain, the reason this is so important is because, especially in parental relationships, is because all the research shows that really porn addiction at its core is an intimacy disorder. It's relationship dysfunction. And you and I experience a relationship the most at home with our family, which is why your relationships with your parents are so important, because they're formative. They kind of lay the foundation. And when that foundation is laid effectively, it's a beautiful thing. But when you have points of pain, even if they're not major traumas or major abuse, but you have these moments of pain and you don't heal from them properly, they can actually affect the way you relate to your parents, but eventually the way you relate to other people. And it can be what kind of drives this relationship with pornography. So there's 3 kinds of childhood wounds that we're talking about. Really, these are the 3 kinds that we're dealing with. Now, the first is the obvious wounds. Okay, so this is the abuse. These are tangible moments, memories, or seasons that caused pain in your life. And usually they're more directly related to your sexual issues. So it's, it's sexual abuse, right? Or it's like I found my dad's pornography stash, and that's where all of this started for me. So there are things where it's like you're conscious of them, and it's clearly connected to your issue, okay? So those are the 2 qualities. It's conscious, you're conscious of it, and it's connected to the struggle. Now, if you're like me, I really didn't have anything in category 1. So that's why I kind of was like, I have a good childhood. I think I'm sort of off the hook. This doesn't really apply to me. But this is only 1 category, okay? Number 2, let me make sure I get this right here. Number 2 is unassuming, okay? This is the ice cream incident at McDonald's, all right? So you're conscious of it. You have an awareness of the memory, but it's seemingly disconnected. How could me knocking the ice cream out of my dad's hands affect or cause an issue with pornography? Well, it doesn't cause an issue, but that disconnection and the lies that came from it, like my intentions aren't good enough, good intentions aren't good enough, all this pressure on my behavior created all this academic pressure later on in life. And all that academic pressure is what caused me to relapse a lot because I couldn't keep up with the stress. So you can't just develop better stress management. You actually need to get to the core lies and the core memories that cause the lies. That's the most root level solution. So these are tangible moments, memories, or seasons that cause pain in your life that don't have an obvious sexual component. Another one that I share about more in the book is my relationship with my mom, who was a really good mom in a lot of ways, but not emotionally present. And that lack of emotional relationship that I had with her drove me to seek affirmation and connection with women. So chasing girls and then watching a lot of pornography. And again, that's just, it's not obvious. She didn't do anything that would clearly drive that, but she did something that drove it. So I was conscious of it. I was aware. It was seemingly disconnected. And then the third one is hidden. Okay. So these are memories that you're not conscious of. Okay. They're unconscious. So you don't even know that they're there. And this is why you need a specialist. You need an expert or a guide to help you here. Not everybody has category number 1. Everybody has category number 2 and 3. Okay. So you don't have the obvious ones. Okay, fair. But everybody has category 2, things that you're aware of that seem to be disconnected from your struggle, but they're actually very, very important, and things that are probably hidden that you're not even aware of yet. Now, the way that you access these ones, there's really only one way, and that is the Holy Spirit. And I personally think that when you have the Holy Spirit in conjunction with a specialist who really understands the Holy Spirit, but also understands these concepts, that's where you're going to be the most effective. That's why inner child work is so powerful. We see the Holy Spirit do incredible things through that modality. And that's what allows you to kind of heal this broken, fragmented root system that pain causes. Okay, now that you're starting to rewire your mind and heal what's underneath, it's time to step into lasting freedom. In episode 4, we reveal the missing piece that most men miss in recovery, and it's what literally ties all of this beautifully together.